So every time she'd be like, Pap upstairs. I'm like, but do we want to be? Somebody got to go do a welfare check on that man.
Every now and then, a celebrity story comes along that completely takes over social media. It starts with one rumor, then another person speaks out, someone posts screenshots, a celebrity jumps into the conversation, and before you know it, millions of people have already decided who's guilty and who's innocent. That's exactly what's happening right now with Claressa Shields and Papoose. What was once viewed as a simple relationship announcement has now turned into one of the most talked about celebrity dramas on the internet. From alleged text messages and questionable timelines to family disputes, celebrity reactions, and non-stop social media debates, this story seems to get more complicated every single week. But here's the biggest question nobody can seem to answer. Is the internet uncovering uncomfortable truths? Or is social media creating a narrative that's far bigger than the actual facts? Today, we're breaking down everything that's happened, the allegations everyone is talking about, and why this story has completely divided the internet. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because celebrity drama moves fast, and we'll be covering every major update. Also, a quick reminder that everything discussed in this video comes from publicly available interviews, social media posts, and reports. Allegations remain allegations unless they've been officially confirmed. With that said, let's rewind to where many people believe this entire story really began. For many people watching this unfold online, the turning point came back in December 2024. That's when Remy Ma publicly shared alleged text messages that immediately sent social media into detective mode. Almost overnight, the conversation stopped being about a celebrity couple and became a debate about loyalty, timing, and whether relationships sometimes begin long before the public ever realizes.
The chat.
We're in charge if he deceased.
And he's dead, right.
Slow motion. See what I'm saying? Y'all all some slow motion on the spectrum type females. Like, go on somewhere. What are you talking about?
I just don't lift as heavy as him. So once again, ladies, I'm going to use the weight that works for me. He does like a lot of bodybuilding.
According to Remy Ma's claims, Papoose was still living in the home they shared while Claressa Shields was allegedly texting him to check whether he had made it home safely. On its own, that might not sound like undeniable proof of anything. Friends check on friends all the time. But then another allegation surfaced that had people paying much closer attention. Remy claimed that Papoose allegedly fell asleep while talking to Claressa on the phone, and when she answered the call herself, the conversation ended almost immediately. That single allegation became one of the most replayed and discussed moments across social media. Supporters of Remy argued that hanging up so quickly suggested someone had been caught in an uncomfortable situation. Others pushed back, saying nobody truly knows what happened during that phone call, except the people involved. After all, ending a call doesn't automatically prove wrongdoing, but social media rarely waits for complete facts before forming opinions, and within hours, thousands of people had already reached their own conclusions. Whether those conclusions were fair or not, one thing was obvious: the public perception surrounding Claressa and Papoose had officially changed.
Wait. That's 50. Why we here acting like 50 need a reason to mess with somebody?
Right. Because usually there's a reason. There's something that happens.
He gonna troll you tomorrow.
As if the alleged text messages weren't enough, internet users quickly turned their attention to another part of Claressa's personal life: her previous relationship with boxing trainer Tony Rich. Publicly, the understanding had always seemed straightforward. Their relationship had ended, both people had moved on, and Claressa was free to begin a new chapter in her life. But then, members of Tony Rich's family reportedly challenged that version of events, suggesting the timeline may not have been as clean as many people believed. Naturally, once those claims surfaced, social media did what it always does. Internet detectives began searching through old Instagram posts, archived videos, training clips, and interviews, looking for anything that might support or contradict those claims. People pointed to training videos showing Claressa and Tony still working together well into 2024. Critics argued those appearances raised questions about when the relationship truly ended. Supporters responded that professional athletes often continue training with former partners because business and personal relationships don't always end at the same time. In reality, continuing to work together doesn't automatically confirm that two people are still romantically involved. But once public doubt begins, every photo, every video, and every interaction suddenly becomes evidence in the eyes of the internet. And that was exactly what happened here. Instead of answering questions, those old videos only created even more.
Oh, I'm never gonna stop talking about my man. I just brought him his food in the back because he was upstairs. Ain't that y'all joke? Oh, he's upstairs. Just brought him his food. And y'all talking shit, but guess what? Ain't nobody gonna ever make me stop talking about my man.
If you followed celebrity culture for any amount of time, you already know that when 50 Cent inserts himself into a situation, things usually become much louder almost instantly. He's built an entire reputation around commenting on celebrity drama, posting memes, sharing screenshots, and keeping internet conversations alive long after most people would have moved on.
I'm up here listening to this live, and I see so much misinformation. I'm lying, saying that this woman owes tax money. Why are y'all lying, saying that?
Well,
Turning messy.
I don't want to get
On top of
emotional,
that-
saying, but me and my sister got the same mama and same daddy, and we grew up together. And you know, she just you work so hard to make all this money and to have a good life for yourself, and then the people who you want to share it with, they just change.
So when 50 Cent began posting about Claressa Shields, people immediately paid attention. He shared screenshots that many interpreted as suggesting Claressa may have been communicating with another man while publicly dating Papoose. Were those screenshots definitive proof of anything? Not necessarily. In fact, many people questioned the context behind them, but that's often how celebrity gossip works. Sometimes the implication creates a bigger reaction than the actual evidence. What made the situation even more interesting was the timing. Public interest had already been growing, but once someone with 50 Cent's influence joined the discussion, the story reached an entirely different audience. Suddenly, people who hadn't been following the drama at all were now searching for updates, watching breakdown videos, and debating what they believed had actually happened. Whether people agreed with him or not, 50 Cent succeeded in doing what he often does best, keeping the conversation alive. Most celebrities facing non-stop criticism eventually choose silence. They step away from social media, avoid interviews, and let public attention slowly fade away. Claressa Shields took a completely different approach. Instead of saying less, she said more. She continued publicly celebrating her relationship with Papoose, posting about him, defending him, and making it clear that she wasn't going to allow internet criticism to dictate how she expressed her feelings. One of the moments that received the most attention came when she joked that she just brought food to her man upstairs, while critics continued talking online. Supporters viewed those comments as confidence. They argued she had every right to defend someone she cared about and shouldn't allow strangers on the internet to control her relationship. Critics, however, interpreted those same posts very differently. They questioned why someone in a happy relationship would feel the need to repeatedly reassure the public that everything was fine. The truth is, nobody outside that relationship truly knows what they're experiencing privately, but perception often becomes reality online, and every response Claressa made seemed to create twice as many new conversations as the previous one. As the drama continued growing, internet users began revisiting other moments from Claressa's public life. One incident frequently mentioned involved allegations that she had supposedly called into a YouTube boxing show while pretending to be someone else in order to defend herself. Listeners claimed they recognized her voice almost immediately, though those allegations have never been officially confirmed. Around the same time, old interviews discussing tension within her family also resurfaced. Claressa openly spoke about difficulties with her sister and how success had complicated some of her closest relationships. Many viewers found those interviews emotional and honest. Others began connecting those family disputes to the ongoing relationship drama, arguing they reflected a larger pattern of public conflict. Of course, it's important to remember that everyone experiences disagreements with family, friends, or colleagues at some point in life. Public disagreements don't automatically define a person's character. Still, once the internet starts building a narrative, every unrelated event often gets folded into the same storyline. That's exactly what happened here, making the conversation even more emotional and much more polarized.